This is the application training presentation for the 2019 International Convention in Phoenix, Arizona. In this training, we will first present an overview of how delegate information will be managed and how the different hospitality teams will communicate throughout the process. We will then discuss communication and how Slack will be used to provide this function. Then the training will allow for time to perform an exercise based on the instruction provided. In the second part of the training, following the exercise, we will discuss delegate management and how Trello will be used to provide this function. At the end of that training segment, time will be allowed for an additional exercise to apply the instruction in typical scenarios. It is important to note the following requirements prior to your attendance at training. All attendees will have a device with their own internet access. You will not be able to use the local Wi-Fi of the training venue. All attendees will have watched this training video in its entirety, even though we plan to replay the video during the training session. Attendees will only be allowed to participate if they've received a direct individual invitation. We will not have the time or resources to bring additional people to participate in the exercises. All attendees will have downloaded and installed Slack to their device and have joined the workspace in the invitation email. And finally, all attendees will have downloaded and installed Trello to their device and have joined the boards in the invitation email. Just like any other theocratic assignment or meeting, advanced preparation on everyone's part will make for an effective and efficient training session. The process of delegate management is a well-coordinated effort between several hospitality teams. When the delegates arrive, they are greeted by members of the airport team and checked into a database. They are then escorted by runners from the public transportation team through SkyTrain and the light rail. Then they are welcomed to their hotel by the hotel team. Depending on the activities on their itinerary, they will also be cared for by members of the bus team. Check-ins are used to manage the handoff of responsibility between teams so that everyone is cared for. All of these activities happen behind the scenes to make for a seamless and pleasant convention experience. Coordination between the teams requires tools for management and communication. The Transportation Office Support Team plays a critical role in addressing that need. The tools that will be used to support the process will include Trello for delegate management and Slack for messaging and communication. First, we will take a look at the Slack application. Slack works very much like any other text messaging tool, with the exception of the use of channels to communicate within groups. Check-in teams will have a Slack channel to communicate directly with the key men. Other positions like runners and bus captains will not need to use Slack, as they can message the key man on an as-needed basis for emergencies and exceptions using their normal method of communication. The key men will also have a Slack channel that they can use to communicate with other key men in the same team. The general principle behind communication is to make the key men the eyes and ears of what is happening in the field. Key men will have the discretion and judgment to communicate only what is needed up the chain. Assistants will communicate with other assistants on other teams using a high-level Slack channel called Oversight. Let us now review the application as accessed from an iPhone. The application will work on other smartphones, but may look and behave slightly different from the screens being shown. Click the link in your email inviting you to Slack. When prompted, enter your email address. You will be sent a confirmation email that you will need to open. Opening this email will prompt you for your full name and password to use for Slack. Please use your proper full name in setting up an account. After you agree to terms of service, you will be sent another email to join the workspace. You will then need to sign into Slack with your email and password from the prior screens. At this point, you may be prompted to download and install the Slack application. You will then select the option to sign in through a link that will be sent to your email. When you open that email, be sure to turn on notifications and allow notifications to your phone. You will then be set up to use Slack with channels that are available to your position. Now let's review sending a message. Clicking the channel will display channel settings. Clicking the Slack icon will display other channels to select. After confirming the channel you would like to use, you can type a message and click Send. You may also select another channel and send a message on that channel as well. Clicking the sleeping bell icon will display Do Not Disturb settings. You have the ability to select Do Not Disturb for a number of minutes to several hours. You may even customize a date and time to allow notifications. Before we start our exercise, let's briefly review some principles of communication. Maintain an appropriate professional tone in your messages. We are talking to our brothers and sisters. All caps is interpreted as shouting in electronic messaging. Also, avoid sarcasm. Even though this is often used in humor, sarcasm can be easily misinterpreted. Next, avoid abbreviations and slang. Although you may think some abbreviations and expressions are common knowledge, your audience may not understand what you are trying to say. And finally, only communicate when needed. The primary function of this tool is to assist with delegate management. Unnecessary messages will condition people to ignore the important ones.